host for today, and I'm so excited about the event that we're going to tell you about. And we have an incredible, amazing young woman who's doing extraordinary things in this city and beyond. Please welcome to the show, Miss Latrice Ryan. Hi there.
Hey, Loretta. Thank you.
We had lunch last week, and now here we are on the show.
I know, right? Talk about destiny.
Yes,
Divine connection.
Absolutely. And your event, and I want everybody to write this down because the event is actually May 10th.
May 10th.
And it's an empowerment breakfast.
Right. It's May 10th. It's called the Live Through It Empowerment Event. And it's for mothers, specifically for mothers who have experienced the loss of a child. A couple of weeks ago, I was driving to work, and I was trying to think of an outreach event for Mother's Day. Couldn't quite get it together, and so on my last 10 minutes of the commute to work, I turned off the radio, turned off my phone, and I just said, okay, Lord, speak. At that point, it almost hit me like a ton of bricks. So when I came into the office, I began to just write down and jot down. When a child loses their parents, that child is called an orphan. When a wife loses her husband, she's called a widow. But what do you call a mother who has lost a child? I searched the dictionary, Google, everything. There is no word for it. So at that point, it was my aha moment. It was a light bulb. Okay, we're going to give back to all of the women right here in the Memphis and Shelby County area who have experienced that type of devastating loss. We're going to call it an empowerment breakfast, and the name of it is going to be Live Through It, because truth be told, these women are living through a devastating, unnatural loss. They're living through it. So we want to empower them. We want to honor them. We want to wrap our arms around them and embrace them and tell them to continue to live through it.
Okay, and so it's May 10th. It starts at what time?
At 9 a.m. It's going to be at the Hotel Memphis. That's the Marriott, what was formerly the Marriott Thousand Oaks, 2625 Thousand Oaks.
Okay, so what can we expect when we walk through the door? What can we expect? First, we want people to register. So let's go ahead and give them the information to register. It's a free event, so no money involved. You just come and have a great time. Thank God for favor and mercy and sponsors.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have some great people that see the vision and live through it. Some of them are Inspire Memphis, so we thank God for them. Okay, so to register, because the space is limited, the seating is limited, so we do have to have the registration. And you go to www.livethruit.org.
Okay.
So it's livethruit.org, but we had to be creative in the spelling. So it's www.livethruit.org.
Okay.
Or you can call our office at 901-300-6720.
Okay, and of course we'll give that information again. And I just want to talk about, because on the information that you sent out, approximately 53,000 children die each year in the United States alone. That's not counting anywhere else but here on the state side. And we know it's probably triple that in other countries. Because of, they have to deal with so much. Oh Lord, they have to deal with so much. So you're right, and I never thought it. What do you call a mom or a dad even who's lost a child? And I told you, unfortunately, I have experienced it, and I have lived through it only by, and I'm telling you, by the grace of God. That is the only way I've been able to do that. And his birthday is actually May 12th, so Mother's Day is always, iffy and hard for me, difficult, but God. So we'll say that.
That's it. That's it. You women like yourself, mothers like yourself, you're so strong. You're so courageous. We don't know the strength of women until being strong is our only option. Where you have to pick up the pieces and pull yourself up by the bootstrap, have a little conversation with yourself, a little pep talk to yourself, with yourself, and just say, Lord, it's you and I, and we're gonna live through this. So I applaud women like you, mothers like you, and you have a very tender place in my heart, and in our ministry, in our heart, and we want to give you that support. So what to expect to Live Through It? All right, here it is. It's a plated breakfast. There will be servers. We didn't even want the women to have to go to a buffet line. We wanted these mothers. They've paid, first of all, they've paid a hefty enough price. So it's free. There'll be servers. It's a plated breakfast. There'll be.
Love it.
I love it, right? There'll be singers. You'll hear from other testimonials from other Live Through It mothers who have done, who are doing exactly what you're doing. They're living through it. We'll have counselors on site. We'll have support groups on site. We'll have giveaways. So it's in those little 2 hours, we want to encourage you. We want to empower you. And we just want to wrap our arms around these mothers and just tell them, you know what? Keep on living through it.
Yeah. Oh, that is so beautiful. And I was telling you, I think at the luncheon we were at, I've never met a mom prior to Brandon going on ahead of me. And that's what I call it. I know he's not lost.
Right.
I know exactly where he is.
Right.
So the night before he went on, he was just sitting beside my bed, and he actually prophesied to me, told me I was going to be famous, but I had to keep talking and I had to keep my magazine out there. And I said, I don't want to be famous. I just want to be a great mom. He said, no, Mom, you need to listen. I'm like, dude, you 16. Wait a minute now. Right. But I felt peace in my spirit to let him, say that. Not that he was being disrespectful, but I just don't even like getting close to that fine line.
Right,
and so he said that, and the next day he went on. And I'm saying it really calmly now, but I'm telling you, I can't even put into words how devastating it is.
It is.
It is so devastating. I tell women, grief has no bounds.
No.
Mourning has no bounds. You do it the best way you can.
Right.
There's no book that can tell you. There's no person, even another mom who's lost a child. There's no way we can tell you how to go through it or what to expect, other than you gotta know God. You gotta trust Him that He will get you through this.
That's right.
He will definitely get you through this.
And even in the planning of Live Through It, we've talked to so many mothers who, and each story is different.
Oh yeah.
Each story is different, and a lot of them tell me that they feel so many different emotions. Guilt, they feel regret, they feel like they shouldn't be happy because their child is not there. One mom even told me, she said, people were telling me that, your child is in a better place. She said, I didn't want to hear that. The better place for my child was right here with me. She said, so I didn't want to hear that. And she said, it took me, I was angry, I was bitter. And she said, until I met Jesus, and just hearing the stories and the testimonies from so many women, they go through so many different emotions. And believe it or not, Loretta, this type of grief knows no boundaries.
It doesn't.
None whatsoever. It affects the mother with the GED. It affects the mother with the PhD. It crosses all cultural
one with billions
boundaries.
and one with no money.
With none, exactly.
It's almost like an equalizer. I would definitely say it's an equalizer.
Right.
But what I encourage parents to do, and I and one of my dear friends that I met since, whose son also went on ahead of her, is to do something in their memory, something fun, something that will help other people. So I did the Brandon McNary Scholarship Fund for the school that he attended, before he left, and she did the Michael House Foundation, where they help students at White Station, where he was a student there. So and I've heard of celebrity moms who do the same thing. They create these foundations, or they do something to give back in their name. Oh, another great example, Gail Rose, Team Max. They're out there all the time doing things, giving back every day. Team Max is somewhere helping somebody else. And now Gail did that in honor of her son, who went on ahead of her. And just recently, she had it's so beautiful, at his graveside, there's this huge statue, and I think it's of him, and then it has an angel, it's like life size, an angel on the back lifting him up. And it was like, oh my God, oh, how sweet.
It is.
Yeah.
Even though the child is not there physically.
But his memory, his spirit will always be with us.
Forever. As long as the mother lives, as long as she has breath in her body, that child lives on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, he definitely lives on. And I mean, it's so admirable, and just to be commended for mothers like yourself who do something, a foundation, or you give back, and you help others to come through it, and you tell them how you got through it, and then you keep your son's legacy alive.
Definitely.
And so their legacy lives on. The memory lives on. His voice is still echoing even now, and his dreams are living through you. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
It is awesome. It is awesome. And for people that are friends of a mom, or cousins, or the mom of the mom, it's difficult to find the right words to say when it happens, and even when they're grieving, or it will hit you all of a sudden. You just start crying. So don't stay away. That's the worst thing you can do, is alienate yourself because you don't know what to say. It's not about you. It's about that mom, and you encouraging her and supporting her and loving on her. Don't wait on them to ask, because 9 times out of 10, we're not going to ask. We're not going to ask for anything. We're not going to ask you to do anything. So just do it. Thank God I had friends, and my mom and was there. So Yeah.
And a good support system is essential. It's essential.
Yeah.
You know, I really believe that even with doing Live Through It, we are embracing those mothers, and we're offering them, you know, it's bigger than the bacon and the biscuits. You know, it's bigger
What is the thought behind it?
It is definitely the thought. It's definitely the thought.
Yeah.
And the mothers that I've reached out to, that, you know, my team, we've all reached out to, all of them say that they're so appreciative just for someone to even shine a light, you know, on a dark period in their lives. So they're so grateful to it. But you know, it's truly an amazing event, and a support system is essential, because when mama is healed, everybody else will be healed. You know, or it affects a lot of people. When we're wounded and we're hurting, you know, a lot of times we'll try to go on and we'll try to be better, and we'll try to do, you know, try to move life as we know it. But oftentimes we need somebody to just grab us by the hand and just, you know, just let us know it's okay. I'm with you.
Because I remember saying and speaking the term that people are really using a lot now, and that's a new normal. Yeah, you have a new normal. It's still normal.
Right.
It's not necessarily without the child, because they will always be at a party, you always be a part of your heart, but you have to learn how to live, as you said, through it in a different way. You know, don't try to keep things the same, because they will never be the same again.
Never.
And respect that and honor that, you know, and stay in the moment of that, but just do the best you can, you know, for a new normal.
Absolutely. And even at Live Through, we'll have counselors and support groups on site. Not necessarily, it's not mandatory, but I do believe that counseling is essential. You know, counseling doesn't mean crazy.
No.
Not.
And you know what? We live in a community, especially, you know, the church.
Yeah.
We think something's wrong. You're supposed to go to God for that. He can get you through it. You don't need this external stuff. But God, you know, gave wisdom and knowledge to those counselors. They're trained to be able to help you and to reach in that deep place where you don't want to visit, and to help you, you know, get it out. Because once you shine light, even a candle can light an entire room. So just think, when you let the light of a counselor or a loved one, you know, shine light on that darkness inside your spirit and your heart, it can be healing. It can add so much value in healing.
It can, and it will. You know, I tell people all the time, counseling doesn't mean crazy, because Jesus himself had a physician in his clique. Luke was a physician. So, you know, a doctor, just because we go to doctors or seek medical or clinical help, doesn't mean that there's something wrong with us.
No, and it doesn't mean you're weak.